If you would have told me in August that we would have a chance to capture home field advantage in the NFC West crown with the win in Seattle Sunday, I would have said sign me up. But let's be honest, none of us thought that. Most people predicted us to have around 9 wins maybe. So I'm beyond excited that we have a chance to do that. But along with the wins comes expectations, and I think our expectations need to be tempered just a little bit. I mean, we're not the same team that we were early on in the season. We've had to fight for a lot of our most recent victories. Injuries have taken a toll on this team, as they have, on a lot of teams throughout the NFL. But, our strength coming into this year, or at least, we saw after a couple games, was our defensive line. And that made everything better. Coverage, the coverage and the pass rush went hand in hand. We were beating teams and just bullying them, from start to finish. And I'd say, the first half of the year, we looked like we had a Super Bowl caliber defense. And, if you would ask me then, with the defense the way that it was, if we would have had a chance to win the Super Bowl, I'd tell you, yeah, no problem. Unfortunately, attrition has caught up with us and injuries have caught up with us. And you have to look at things realistically now. If we do not capture the number 1 seed and we are forced to go on the road the rest of the playoffs, it's going to be a tough road, and it's not going to be easy. I mean, you got to look at the NFC and how well stacked they are and how they, from 1 to 6, any of those teams mostly have a viable shot to represent the NFC in the Super Bowl. I mean, you have the New Orleans Saints, who are just unbelievable, with Michael Thomas and Drew Brees and company. The Green Bay Packers, I mean, anytime you have Aaron Rodgers, you have a shot. And as much as the Seattle Seahawks are injured, I mean, they have Russell Wilson. And you listen, us Niners fans know just how great Russell Wilson is. So it's definitely a good time to be a 49er fan, but I think we have to be cautiously optimistic with what this team can accomplish. I mean, do they have a shot? Yes. But you have to look at it realistically. We could be a 1 out in the playoffs with the way our defense has been, just injured, and we have the lack of depth and the way we've been playing lately. Or we could go on a run and, D Ford comes back and Jaquiski Tartt comes back and everything, the ship rights itself, and, the offensive line, if they can somehow get their act together, who knows? But we have to be realistic about it. At least me as a fan, one of those people that always I would say I'm pessimistic a little bit, only because I try to not set my expectations so high to get myself so disappointed. Although when we lose, I'm still super disappointed all the time, so it really does nothing. But I'm looking at this as, we're going to have to wait and see on all of this. This is definitely not going to be a cakewalk. This would be one of the hardest Super Bowl runs in recent history because of just how many injuries we have and how much our depth has been tested. It'll be interesting, though. I mean, you got to think about it. Like, this team is really been tested, and they've been through a lot of games and won a lot of games a lot of different ways. And that gives me confidence that no matter what situation we're in or what the circumstances are, we have a shot. Is Jimmy Garoppolo completely erratic? Yes. Does he make you want to punch your TV sometimes with some of the decisions he makes? Absolutely. But is he clutch? No doubt. Dude's super clutch. I mean, we can't depend on it all the time. We have to play better around him so that we don't have to be put in those situations. I mean, he's not Superman. He's not going to come through for us every time, but I'm definitely confident in a pressure situation that Jimmy can come through. He's proved it this year more than once. So, it'll be an interesting next couple of weeks, starting this Sunday night in Seattle. As of when I'm making this video, the Seahawks are so banged up that they're pretty close to signing Marshawn Lynch to play running back for them on Sunday night. So, a lot of Niners fans are coming into this saying, like, we got them. We're going to take them. They're more, they're injured. Look what the Cardinals did. And that's the worst mindset you can have. Every game, it's its own entity. And if the Niners go into this game thinking that, they're going to lose. This is going to be a super difficult game. That crowd is going to be beyond jacked. We already know how loud they can get. Do I think the Niners have a shot in Seattle? Yes. Am I worried? Absolutely. But we'll have to wait and see. We got to wait and see what kind of defense shows up and what kind of offensive line shows up in that game. That's the two most important things. If we could put somewhat of a squeeze on Russell Wilson in that game, because they're going to be throwing a lot with the running game and the injuries to it. So be prepared for that. And the next thing is our offensive line. If the offensive line can somehow, hold up just a little bit in that game, I think Jimmy Garoppolo could have a day on that defense. That defense isn't the Legion of Boom that it once was. They are gettable, but you got to have time to throw. And I think a lot of the time to throw comes from the running game. And the running game has been a little off too. So if the running game can get back on track and the pass protection can get back on track, I think the Niners have a good chance to go into Seattle and steal a game. And if they steal a game, then we're set up in the playoffs. We get a week off to rest guys, hopefully get D Ford and Jaquiski Tartt back. And if we make it to the conference championship game, we might even get Quan Alexander back. So that could be huge. That could be a dream come true, and who knows, maybe we'll find ourselves in Miami come February. But first task in order is to beat the Seattle Seahawks in Seattle on Sunday night in a rowdy environment, in a hostile crowd. And I think we have the guys to get it done. I am concerned about the defense, but I just have a sneaky suspicion that the Niners might pull another one out of their hat on Sunday night. And that's the case. We get home field advantage throughout, and we capture the NFC West championship. All right, guys, that's going to do it for me. I just wanted to share my thoughts and talk to everybody later. See ya.